Next speaker is Daniel Janin. A short introduction about him before he starts his talk. So Daniel Janin is the chairman of World Peace Convention. He started his spiritual journey in Belgium in early 1990s and continued in Switzerland. He met Dr. T.D. Singh in 2000 in Zurich, and highly inspired by his books, his works, he was very much enthusiastic to join his mission. Under the guidance of Dr. T.D. Singh, World Peace Convention was founded in early 2000, and Daniel Janin was appointed as the chairman of WPC. And since then, he conducted many conferences and discussions on the synthesis of science and spirituality here in Switzerland. He conducted the first conference in 2004 in presence of Dr. T.D. Singh in Zurich, and since then, WPC has been organizing conferences and symposium every 2 years until the COVID hit, and then now it's after 5 years. He plays a very crucial role in bringing scientists, scholars, and students from various fields together in such forum and conduct a healthy discussion among them towards synthesis of science and spirituality for world peace. He has been very determined and dedicated towards this cause, and despite his age and health, he is going out every week to meet and inspire many youth to develop their interest in science and spirituality and for their overall holistic and personal development. So the title of his talk today would be Life, Matter and Their Interactions, Memorial from Dr. T.D. Singh. So with this, I invite him to the stage.
Thank you very much for attending this humble attempt to inspire the world amongst the young students and the elder professors. What is the meaning of life? And the presentation we are going to speak about is science, spirituality, about art and culture. It's about the life, matter, and their interaction. This we can see every day, life, matter, and their interaction. This is a presentation based on the publication of His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami, who is a very nice inspiration for the Swiss development and about this scientific project and spiritual project dedicated to our founder, Acharya, or spiritual master, who founded the famous Bhaktivedanta Institute around the world for cultivating this powerful, let's say, this powerful influence on the world of the scientists who are leading for the moment the material view of the leading scientists around the world, and also who are misleading also the new young generation about what is the goal of life, unfortunately. Therefore, Bhaktivedanta Swami has founded 2 institutions, and we are continuing the mission of Bhaktivedanta Institute here in Switzerland. The book starts with the introduction. Kshetragyayor Janam. This means that to understand the distinction between the material field, Kshetra matter, Kshetra means matter, and the knower of the field, Kshetragya, means life. I can speak, you see me, I'm speaking, but this lamp of matter is moving under the Kshetragya. This is Sanskrit knowledge, Kshetragya. This is called knowledge, genome, in Sanskrit, Jnanam. So, Kshetra Gya, Kshetra matter, and the Kshetra Gya, this life identity, allow me to have impulse of speech, and this is coming from the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. Everybody has knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Who doesn't know the Bhagavad Gita? Okay, everybody knows the Bhagavad Gita. Very good. So, now we come to the first Louis de Broglie. He says that it is premature to reduce the vital process to the quite insufficiently developed conception of 19th and even 20th physics. So there is a premature to reduce the vital process to the quite insufficiently developed concept. This is very important because scientists today, they think they have discovered the goal of life, which is manipulating all the different molecules of the material nature. But Louis de Broglie, he says, this is premature to reduce the vital process of the quite insufficiently developed conception. This conception is not sufficient to give impetus for substantial advancement in life today for the world, for the planet. Life is a mystery, isn't it? We all agree, life is a mystery. What is, this is Darwin's book, The Origin of Species, in 1959. The question of life remains unsolved. They can have so many different manifestations, cultural events, conferences, but unfortunately, the life stay a mystery. So the question of life is not resolved. Darwin, everybody knows the Darwin theory, evolutionary theory of Darwin. But if on what we bring, what a big if we could conceive in some warm little pond with the salts of ammonia and phosphoric salts, light, heat, electricity, etc. So if this is all around always of this if, we can bring some material molecule, this is around if. The primordial soup that serves as the starting point of modern theory of life's origin. I don't personally agree with this primordial soup. As a soup, when somebody is cooking a soup, you have to bring the ingredients. And who is bringing the ingredients? Not the soup itself. The soup doesn't fall from the sky, puff, and then we have a soup. But we need the ingredients, the living ingredients, who can bring all the different ingredients for making the soup. The next is to introduce chance. Chance. It's by chance. The mother has received the semen from the father, and by chance the child is born. But who is the origin of life of the child? The father and mother. But the material energy is so strong and powerful that it will not allow the living force to understand, because the living force is covered by such an impulse of illusion of manipulating the material molecules. So this is an obstacle. So the next is to introduce chance. Pure chance, this central concept of modern biology is no longer one among other possible or even conceivable hypotheses. We have to try to understand this central concept of modern biology. We live in a modern world which is no longer possible to conceive those hypotheses because people, they start to react because they want to come back to their real nature. So chemistry and life is the DNA molecule life. DNA, everybody knows what is the DNA? So the DNA chemicals, either organic or inorganic, would not produce life. Everyone will agree that it will never be possible to revive a dead body where all the organic and inorganic chemicals are still present, thus showing that there is the divine hand of the Supreme being a God. The Supreme being a God means that even for those who are atheists or who are influenced by the atheistic point of view of life, we have organic and inorganic chemicals. They are still present. A dead body is lying here on the floor in front of the son and the daughter and the wife, but the dead body and the family is crying about the impulse of life who has left the body. And there is a good analogy. The body is still there. So why all the molecules of the body are still in front of the family members? So why are they crying in front this dead matter, which is now missing the life impetus? So why to cry? But the body is there. But something is missing. We never saw, only we never knew. So therefore, the author is explaining here that there is a divine hand, the divine hand of the Supreme Being, or God. The very fact, I've been too far. The very fact that life exists is a proof of the existence of God. In the theistic paradigm, life and matter are created by God only. In other words, God is the origin of both life and matter. But it's a belief or not a belief? This is my question. Is it a belief or not a belief? In the atheistic view, the Big Bang theory is the origin of matter. Everybody knows about the Big Bang theory. It's a soup. The Big Bang comes from a soup. Isn't it? We all agree. Big Bang theory is a soup. But in the atheistic view means that they are not theist. They don't believe in God's existence. Or theistic theologian means those who have open-minded or have advancement into theology. Theology means advancement about the existence of the origin of life. Theology. So the Big Bang theory is the origin of matter for the atheistic. And life is an emergent property of matter. Do we agree for this? Who agree? You agree? You give me your name after the conference. DNA and RNA are simply dead matter. So, for example, we take proteins from amino acids and DNA, from nucleotides, and we briefly examine the chemistry of the cellular DNA. You have some different researcher here who is doing laboratory research? No? So, there is a big gulf who lies between the few simple chemical facts known about DNA and the actual functioning of a cell. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means that there is the DNA, all the information about the living entity, who is the kshetra, means the body, and the actual functioning of the cell. What is the functioning of the cell? It is the living impetus which is permitting the body to move, like we heard in the commentary of Michael Cremo, that we need to develop the human consciousness which is allowing us to approach the goal of life. What is the goal of life? Do we know what is the goal of life? If we ask a dog or a cat, what is the goal of life? And if we ask a human being, what is the goal of life? We will have the same answer? No. We have to be objective. And this is, the cat will say, meow, meow, meow. And the dog will say, dog, wow, wow, wow. But the human being will say, if he is an atheistic person, he will say, the goal of life, give me a husband, give me a wife, give me children, a house, and all the ingredients, I can be happy with my subsistence. So this is a big gulf. Today we're trying to help to cross, to go to the reality, nature of reality and spirituality. It is quite possible that other laws are involved in the operation of cells that are unknown to modern scientists. Operation of cells. A cell means a living entity in the perspective of Vedic paradigm. So DNA and RNA are simply dead matter. This is the conclusion. If we try to understand what is the logically, if we analyze what is DNA and RNA, this is the logic conclusion. This is simply dead matter. At this stage of scientific knowledge, all the experimental techniques and tools needed to synthesize most of the chemicals primarily found in the living cells. For example, we take proteins, hormones, lipids, carbohydrates, vitamins, and genes. All this is available in a body. Yet we are nowhere near to constructing a complete synthetic living cell in the tube. So if we analyze, we have met some different scientists before in the past. They were working in laboratories, and then they were doing research in labs about different, for example, different companies. Like we have different companies who are quite famous here. I will not give some names, but living cell, what does it mean for an atheist? It doesn't mean really understanding of the living cell. Now they make a living cell, like by example, we take the CERN. Who knows the CERN in Geneva? The CERN? You heard about the CERN? Yes? It's a big entity, the CERN. It's a nuclear research in Geneva, Switzerland, quite famous. They have discovered the gods, the God foundation of the God particle. God particle became famous. This is many years ago. So the synthetic living cell needs to be enlightened by different influence of consciousness, higher consciousness. A gene or a DNA molecule is not life. Similarly, a protein or sugar molecule is not life. Indeed, the author proposed that a mixture of various biomolecules is also not and will never become life. We agree with this? Yes? So in my search for the secret of life, I ended up with the atoms and electrons, which have no life at all. And who is speaking this? This is Tsent Györgyi. So somewhere along the line, life has run out through my fingers. So in my old age, I'm not now retracing my steps. Here we have designed about what is DNA to genome. Is genome life? So some of you, they are scientists. Is genome life? We hesitate to say yes, but for scientists, maybe for scientists it's alive. I was just driving and thinking about ideas and suddenly I saw it. And this is Kari Mullis. I saw in the polymers chain reactions of clear as if it was up to the blackboard in my head. So I pulled over the started scribing. So all of a sudden, scientists, they have a revelation. Coming from who? From where? We have a famous scientist coming from Serbia, Nikola Tesla. He was honest with his research, and he was humble enough to accept, yeah, it was coming from higher authorities. So DNA and RNA are dead matter. We come back on the same conclusion that, yes, I've finished. Thank you. And the same conclusion is that Marshall Nirenberg also, he made his, he formulated goals, and long before he can resolve the ethical and more moral problem which will be raised. We do have a religious and spiritual aspect to our beings. This would be difficult to quantitate, but it exists. It exists. This is confirmed by some scientists, John Eccles also. And he says, I maintain that human mystery is incredibly demanded by scientific reductionism, which claims in promissory materialism about eventually for all of the spiritual worlds. So, conclusion, I'm finished, dear computer. In the last 50 years, we have filled in huge details about living systems and can manipulate their bodily structure in many astonishing ways. But we will do not know what is life. Thank you for your kind attention. Do we know what is life? Thank you very much.
Thank you for your talk. Any question from the audience?
Everything was clear.
Thank you very much for enlightening words. My question to you is, what was one instant in your life that made you think or that made you change the way you are now? A life-changing event in your life.
What is the impetus who made me change?
Exactly.
Shift from one paradigm to the other paradigm.
Exactly. Thank you.
So it's a good question because I spoke in the brochure of, we have a brochure about the World Peace Convention brochure, explaining that where I accept the impetus where I was loitering in the streets of Israel, Vietnam, US, everywhere. And I didn't go to the moon, neither to the sun, but maybe previous life, for I believe in reincarnation. But one day I was thinking, where is my goal of happiness? And that is confirmed. Where is my goal of happiness? Yeah, I will say, don't worry. So, after loitering in this different paradigm of material existence, the goal of happiness was not found in my research. And one day I started to pray. I don't know, maybe some of you don't know what it means, prayer, but it's a very powerful impetus to pray. Even you take the war between Russia and what is called Ukraine. Everybody knows. Even those soldiers, maybe they might be atheistic at the beginning of the war, but at the end of the war, the material energy forced them to start to pray. Maybe they pray the energy of the material nature, or maybe they pray the power of the sun, or they pray the moon. But myself, I was praying in the street in Belgium. It was in Brussels, the famous Brussels center for the world solving problems. And I was praying to God. I was praying to God. I didn't know his name. I didn't know his name at all. I said, oh my God, I need your help. Please enter in my life. This was my impetus when I started 40 years ago. And God appeared in my life as a person. He sent me persons, not molecules, but persons who came and gave me some books about research and confirming my research on reincarnation, life and death. What is the nature of life and death, and if there is a life after death? This is, I'm praying to God. I don't mention any names, otherwise we will enter into big conflict. But thank you for your question. It was a nice question.
Yes, thank you. A big round of applause once again for your talk.